is the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast.
What is up, my dudes? This is Trent here with the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. I am joined by Phil, Jordan, and producer Seth is in the back, man, the cameras. Make sure to check us out on YouTube at tffdudes. Today's draft, we are going to go over the biggest NFL draft bust in honor of the NFL draft coming up this week. We took a week off. We're back into the draft saddle again. The draft is coming up this week. Should be a fun time. So before we get to our draft, we are going to recap 2 weeks ago's draft, actually. And that draft was Checkout Items Draft. And the winner of that draft was Team B, which was Jordan. He had candy bar, soda, trading cards. In second place was Seth with bubblegum, energy drink, and chips with 21% of the votes. And in third place was Team D, which was me, with mints, batteries, cigarettes. Phil came in last with 15% of the votes. He had beef jerky, Little Debbie's, and Scratchers.
It's embarrassing.
How does that make you feel, Phil?
I don't know. Do you think it's a Little Debbie's?
I think Little Debbie's was a bad pick. I think if you would have just went with like
cigarettes in second round.
Cigs in second round or whatever. But let's get into the draft here. The thing with this draft, we're doing an NFL bust draft, and rules that it has to be a first round draft pick, right?
Yeah.
Does it have to be top 10? You want to just go anything first round?
I think no one's really putting anything out of the top 10.
I think everyone within the first round.
Okay.
Or I guess you can do top 10, but I would say first round.
Before we get into this, though, I want to let you know that today's draft is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's the easiest way to play fantasy sports. You just draft your team and forget it. No setting lineups, no trades. It's the dude's favorite place to play best ball and all other kinds of DFS games. Enter dudes, and they will match you up to $100. So if you put in $100, you got $200. You put in $50, you have $100. $5, you have $10. For all those out there who don't know basic math, so go on to Underdog, check it out. Tell them the dude sent you. Enter our promo code. Really helps us out, guys. If you like the show, that would be great if you could go there and check that out. So today's draft, Jordan will be drafting first. Then it is Seth. Then it is me. Then we're wrapping it up with Phil. So we got biggest NFL draft bust. Jordan, you are on the clock now with the 101. What are you thinking here, Jordan?
Oh, man, I got two. It's hard to decide between the two. I think there's two obvious.
I think you're going to pick the obvious one.
There's two obvious ones here.
The most obvious one I think you're going to choose, and you'll probably win because of that.
I don't know. To me, they both feel obvious.
This honestly could be a Raiders draft.
So you think it's him?
Yeah.
I think there will be multiple Raiders in this draft is what I'm telling you. Like, you could make this.
I'm going to go Jamarcus Russell. I think the other obvious guy is probably who will get taken next. So
yeah. No,
I think I'd be dumb not to.
I'm going to go Jamarcus Russell, though.
I wanted to take that one for what it's worth, but
no, I think that's good. And that, I think even like you can go back at that and look at who the Raiders could have got instead of Jamarcus Russell, and that one still hurts,
Well, that's why the next one should get taken is also a huge bust because of who. I'll just wait. We'll talk about it when.
Yeah, 36. Jamarcus Russell got $36 million. 3 forgettable seasons before he was released. I think
the crazy thing is that guy never even got another shot.
Well, no, the last time that's true, but the last time he went into practice, I think he was like 285.
No, but I'm saying like most guys, like they'll like float around, they'll get, that guy was like, dude, you're done. Like,
well, I think he also, wasn't he not watching film and wasn't he doing a lot of like.
They were giving him VHS tapes, film, and they were blank, and they were asking if he broke it down. He was saying yes.
Correct, yeah. So he just was flat out not doing it.
Yeah. Crazy.
And he got thick, huh?
Had a good arm. Was he good at LSU?
I mean, he had to have been. But he said, I saw a tweet, a PFF tweet, and he said, if you're going to call me a bust, call me the biggest bust. He said some choice words in there as well. But
yeah. He was like, he came in like, I think he gained like 40. I think he was like 240. Then he came into his last training camp at like 285, and they were like,
he was there 2 years, right?
I mean, three, yeah. But I would have said 2.
Who was he there with? Was he there with like Justin Fargas and like?
I think Fargas was there. Yeah.
So he had one good year at LSU. One good year his junior year. He had 3,000 yards passing, 28 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Yeah. So he had
But the year before he only had
15 TDs,
2,515 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, and part of it you have to look at is like who could have the Raiders gotten
Who could they have
instead
gotten?
of I'm looking right now, Jamarcus Russell draft class. That's 2007. So guys that went in that draft were they could have got Calvin Johnson. They could have got Joe Thomas. They could have got Adrian Peterson, Patrick Willis, Marshawn Lynch, Darrell Reeves.
I will say it was a bad QB draft though. So they won the QB. Well, we're gonna take Brady Quinn.
Who's the best
Yeah.
QB in that class? Who panned out?
Oh gosh, this is such a bad draft.
Anthony Gonzalez. That's a name I haven't heard in a while.
That's crazy.
I didn't realize that the Saints took Robert Meacham in the first round that year.
Seth, there's like zero good
There's no
quarterbacks.
quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not.
There's zero quarterbacks
Yeah.
in this class. John Beck, like,
Calvin Johnson and Adrian Peterson were the picks to take in that draft.
yeah, but I get like the Raiders. To be fair to them, like they went to take a QB, and I like because should they took him Brady Quinn? Like I don't
Yeah, it's hard
Like-
to say.
like there is no good quarterbacks in this class.
Yeah, Drew Stanton,
Jordan Palmer.
Kevin Kolb.
I mean this is bad.
Yeah, it's a bad QB
This
class.
is a really bad QB class.
Yeah, Brady Quinn was the only other quarterback to go in the first round. So, yeah, like it's true they wanted a QB. They went with Jamarcus Russell, but
And I kind of can't get mad at him actually when I
Yeah.
look at this.
it makes it better. But like the problem is you have you have Calvin Johnson and Adrian Peterson on that list that you could have passed. You
Not
have
to mention also Joe Thomas.
Joe Thomas, yeah. So you have like four Hall of Famers in that. You got Darrell Reeves,
Yeah.
you know, like I don't know.
And Patrick Willis was pretty good.
Patrick Willis is pretty good. Yeah, like
But yeah, it is hard to like when I look at him. It's not like the next guy we're probably going to talk about. Like literally, it was Jamarcus Russell, and then take Brady Quinn. They're probably in the same spot. So
yeah. So Seth, you are up.
All right. So some of these picks, I'm gonna have to be honest. Like this pick, Ryan Leaf, drafted in 1998. Like I wasn't even born. So like I can't really speak from any experience here, but like let me just throw this out because from what I'm reading here, he threw 13 touchdowns and 33 interceptions in 3 years in the league. That's pretty bad. And they were saying he's gonna be better than Peyton Manning. And I'm just speaking just from reading this article, but I'm just gonna say that's the worst one, or at least my first round draft pick.
Yeah,
So.
because they could have
I
taken.
can't really speak about him. I didn't watch him play a single football game.
Well, just looking at it, like this is another
But like
one.
that's bad. That's bad. 13 for 33 in 3 years.
Yeah, I'm looking at this draft class also, Jordan, and like the next quarterback that got drafted after Ryan Leaf, just to defend, the Chargers a little bit.
Oh, Peyton Manning went first overall.
Peyton
Yeah.
Manning went first.
But they were saying he might be better than Peyton Manning.
yeah,
That's the
it was.
problem.
I don't think
Yeah.
it was like a surefire like. But yeah,
Charles Woodson is in there that class though.
Yeah, like they could have got Charlie Batch, or
Were there any quarterbacks outside of those guys though?
that's what he's saying. Charlie Batch. Let's see. I'm looking.
I mean, for what it's worth, I don't know any of these quarterbacks outside of
Brian
Peyton Manning.
Greasy was in that draft class.
yeah, you wouldn't have took him in the first round, but yeah, they could have
No.
got him later probably. Yeah, so that was just a bad one. I remember.
But back in that day though, like I think they could have taken Charles Woodson there.
Yeah, but even like,
Did
Yeah,
Charles
they coulda-
Woodson
they
win?
coulda-
Did he win the MVP that year? Or
did he win the Heisman?
Heisman, yeah.
He won the Heisman, yeah. So that's a
Played,
big deal.
Played both ways.
Matt Hasselbeck's in that class too.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
No, they
Haas.
should have took Randy Moss. That's the.
I
Yeah.
think Hasselbeck.
Yeah.
I mean, is he the only other quarterback
Way,
that had
yeah,
a
I mean,
better?
yeah.
Phil
that had
doesn't know who
better career?
Hasselbeck is. He wasn't a Seahawks fan back then.
Sorry, who we talking about?
I have a Hasselbeck jersey actually, so that's pretty cool.
Do you each of that?
No, you're right though, Trent. It's
should
two,
wear that more.
Two quarterbacks where there wasn't a whole lot of behind them, right?
Yeah,
But the crazy thing is that, like Seth said, him and Peyton Manning were comped like together, like they were graded out like the same.
And there, a lot of guys were saying he was better,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, insane now that Peyton Manning's one of the best ever. So
Yep. Crazy.
man, I feel like now we're like
Those two were the
those
most
are the two obvious. I feel like now
I
you
think
have,
I think you can get pretty creative with your picks here.
I think you have to.
I
yeah,
know.
you're gonna have to. Yeah,
I might go a little bit
Interesting.
too early on the one that I want. which makes me nervous. But
Man, I'm looking here, and there's a lot like there's a.
We said it has to be top 10, right?
We
said it-
weren't sure if it's
okay.
top 10. Should we just go first round?
I think
it's,
I think first round's fine.
There's a lot of good ones here, man.
there are a lot of good ones here.
I might be a little bit premature in the one that I'm going to go with.
Should I just go with this one just to jack Phil up?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Matt Leinart here. And Phil, you might have a better one actually.
That was out of left field, but
Well, just like Heisman Trophy, national champion, he USC legend,
Stud.
won a Heisman as a junior, but he only played like 7 years in the NFL. Like usually guys
was
like that, I
back,
feel like should have played more.
He ended up backing up Carson Palmer, I think, late at the Arizona Cardinals, I think.
Maybe so.
Who did he get drafted by?
The Cardinals.
Oh yeah, so he just stayed. I think did he finish out?
I know he backed up.
He backed up Palmer.
He backed up Warner. I know that for sure. But yeah, this is just something that, like, as a kid growing up watching Matt Leinart play, I thought he was going to be really good, and he just did not pan out. Like, I didn't think he would be. Like, I'm looking at his years here. Yeah, he only played 7 years in the NFL, which is I figured he played longer than that. Like Tyler Bray, who came on our pod, he had a 10-year career. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't think Tyler Bray had a longer NFL career than Matt Leinart, which I found shocking. You know, like
Yeah, no, Matt Leinart was.
maybe he could have stayed around, but he bounced around.
I think he could have. I think he could
bounced around
have.
from Texans, Raiders, Bills. Like, Leinart played a lot. It definitely is a left field. That's a guy that I remember in my lifetime that I thought was going to be kind of a surefire thing. Maybe I should have known he wasn't going to be just because he's a lefty. Like, it seems like
that
lefty
whole
quarterbacks-
SC team was insane
Like,
though. But
they were insane, but none of them were that good.
I mean, one of the guys who was on that team, it was listed in some of the lists that I've seen.
But like Reggie,
I think within the year or so.
I don't consider Reggie Bush a bust.
No,
Jordan.
no.
I don't.
Like, but I don't think he was what people thought he was
So,
going to be.
so hear me out. Could he be like? I was thinking about this the other day, and it might just be foolish talk. He was kind of like a Christian McCaffrey light before Christian McCaffrey came into the league. He wasn't as strong as a runner as Christian McCaffrey is, but I think if he could have been used that way a little bit more, he probably would have been.
I think Reggie Bush would be better in today's NFL
Yeah,
with
for
more
sure.
committees, stuff like that.
He played what 3 or 4 years on the Saints.
Yeah, and then he went to the Lions. He had like a really good year for the Lions. Like,
He wasn't bad. I don't
yeah.
think you can.
Yeah,
Consider
no, I
him a
wouldn't
bust.
consider him a bust. Like, he started in the NFL for a while. He got good reps. Like, he wasn't what people thought he was going to be. He didn't live up to the hype, but
No,
he had a solid NFL career.
Yeah, he was all right.
Yeah,
he did okay.
So that's why I would say I wouldn't say
What was Leinart drafted overall?
Leinart was drafted. I want to say 7.
Was it Reggie or sorry Leinart then Reggie then White? Lindell
Wait,
White.
What are you saying for draft order?
Yeah.
I think it went Reggie, Leinart, White.
White.
They might have had a receiver in there too.
Yeah, I think. Well, this guy was listed, but I can't remember.
But was it 7, Jordan?
I wasn't. I took your word
I
for
have
it.
it. I have it right here. He was 10th overall by the Arizona Cardinals.
Who else is in that class? Quarterbacks.
He was the second highest selected quarterback after Vince Young. So Vince Young was in that class. You maybe could say, Vince Young had a weird career. I almost said him too.
Oh, I think
That's who I thought you were going to take here.
I strongly can. Yeah, I'm still sort of considering it. Sorry, the guy I'm thinking about was actually a wide receiver with Matt Leinart. I still may say him.
Okay. There's one I was thinking about with that one too. Also.
Okay, I think you might be thinking
Okay.
the same one, but I'm going to go with something different. Is it too early to say Zach Wilson?
you can say that if you want. It might be too early.
Is it
but
too early
I
to
don't
say
think that's
Zach
going to help
Wilson?
you win the draft.
It won't help me win the draft.
It might. New York fans are vicious.
People might hate it. People might say
He's a third-year guy. I think it's too early, even though I think you might be right.
And then we're gonna look back and be like, man, Phil should just.
This could be the turning point for Zach Wilson's career. Maybe he sees his name on this list.
Yeah, he sees his name on his list and then he turns things around here.
Go ahead, light a fire under.
Or what about saying he's not a bust? But what about like just in terms of picking someone? What about when the Chargers took Eli Manning?
Phil, you're taking this
That's
draft.
that's not a
Can you
that's not a
stick to the
bust.
script?
That's
No,
not
no,
a-
do you know
yeah,
what
I
I'm
know
talking
what
about?
you
Can
mean.
you just draft somebody?
All right, I'm just gonna go
He's
with
stalling.
I'm gonna go with Josh Rosen.
Oh,
Solid
that's
one.
that's a good one. That's
Josh
a good
Rosen.
one. Yeah.
He was picked number 10. I mean, that quarterback class was actually pretty decent. I don't know where Lamar Jackson. Oh, Lamar Jackson was super late. I think he fell out of the first round, right?
He was right at
Oh,
the
he's
end.
right. He's number
Right at the
32.
end, yeah.
So he was right at the end. But in that draft class, Baker Mayfield, Saquon Barkley, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Rosen. The list goes on and on. There's quite a few names in there, but I'm going to go with Josh Rosen. Like, he was there, didn't really pan out. The next year they picked up Kyler Murray. So Josh Rosen's a guy that I can think of.
I think that's a good one.
Again, I don't think Eli Manning was a bust. That's not what I'm saying. But do you remember that whole situation?
I do.
right?
That was crazy. Yeah, the draft day drama. So to recap, round one, Jordan took Jamarcus Russell. Seth took Ryan Leaf. I took Matt Leinart. Phil took Josh Rosen. And just remember, draft season's around the corner, and we have a new sponsor. It is Trophy Smack. Maybe you've heard of them on Shark Tank. Who knows? Maybe somewhere else. Anyways, however you've heard of them, if you're looking for trophies, belts, rings, participation trophies, last place awards, whatever, Trophy Smack has you covered for all your fantasy football prize needs. So for 15% off, go to www.trophysmack.com/dudes and take your fantasy football league to the next level. Also, while we're here, we got some new shirts in the old dude store. Go to www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com. Click on the store icon. We got a Saturdays are for the smoker shirt. We got a shirt that just says dudes across it. We have a fantasy athlete shirt that's pretty nice. And, a couple others. But yeah, go ahead and check that out. Nice shirts. You can pick the material too. There's cotton. There's, polyester. There's organic. All kinds of different shirts you can wear there. So go ahead and check that out. But to start the second round here, Jordan, what do you got here?
I'm gonna go another pretty popular one. Like Seth said, I haven't watched this guy play football, but I've heard about him quite a bit. And that's Tim Couch.
That's a good one. I remember watching Tim Couch.
So if you look at his numbers, he was number one overall draft pick in 1999. He did lead the Browns to one playoff in 2002. But
I think Kelly Holcomb played that playoff game.
Yes, but the guy had 1,000. He had 11,000 total yards passing in 5 seasons, 64 touchdowns, 67 interceptions. And he only played 16 games, one year in his career. Lasted 5 seasons, and the only time he threw over 1,000 yards was that 1 year. He led him to the playoffs, and he still had 21 picks. And if you look at the draft class, you had Donovan McNabb selected second.
Yeah.
And Dante Culpepper was at 11. But another huge bust is also in that draft class. So,
yeah, well, looking at that is, you almost could say every quarterback the Browns have drafted,
yeah.
right? Like you could throw them, like they have a ton of first-round quarterbacks that they have.
But you got 2 pretty good quarterbacks in this class, and Culpepper and McNabb. Like, McNabb is not a Hall of Famer, but he's I think just as good. Like he's about as close. If you're not drafting a Hall of Fame quarterback, Donovan McNabb is pretty good.
Yes.
McNabb, I always thought he was good, but I felt like Randy Moss
Are the Browns
and Chris
happy
Carter,
if they take Donovan McNabb over Tim Couch?
For sure.
I don't know. Maybe that's just a place where it's just hard to go and be
fair
a quarterback. You know what I mean? Maybe that was the best thing that happened to McNabb is that they didn't take him.
Okay.
Same thing for Josh Allen.
Maybe so.
All right. For my pick, I'm going to go with John Ross.
That's a good one.
I'm going to pick a player that I actually watched play, and especially that season he had in college, he set the combine record, I think, for the fastest 40 time.
Yeah.
And that's when I was in high school. So I watched a ton of football. Obviously I still watch a ton now, but I watched a lot because I was still playing high school football. And I was in the Pac-12, watched him play a bunch of games, and it was fun to watch. And then to have him in the NFL I think I drafted him his second season, he did nothing for me. Now it just made me mad. So that's why I'm making him my second round pick as a bust.
No, I think that's a good one, Seth. Like I think I bought the hype on that too with the 40-yard dash. He was fun to watch at Washington.
I drafted him as a rookie in one of my other leagues. Granted, I wasn't the best at fantasy football, but I thought it would be worth something.
But no, like he was so fast. He was a punt returner. It seemed like there's a lot of skills for Cincinnati to use him. Is he even in the league anymore? I don't think he is. But yeah, he was just a complete burner that never really found his way.
I thought maybe I saw something that he was trying to play this last year, but I didn't.
In like the USFL or what?
Something like that.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. I'm looking at a bunch of different lists. People put Alex Smith.
I know. I don't like that. I don't think he's a bust.
I don't either.
Like maybe he wasn't great.
Alex Smith
Yeah, Alex Smith. Would you say he's a bust?
or Alakai Smith?
No, Alex
it was
Smith.
Alex
I've
Smith.
seen
I've
both.
seen
I've
that
seen
one,
Alakai Smith in there also.
Oh, because Alakai Smith is a bust, not Alex Smith.
I wouldn't say Alex Smith's a bust.
No, not you. Would you think Alex Smith's a bust, Jordan?
No.
You saw that one though, right, Trent?
I did.
Yeah.
I've seen people.
I don't
putting
think
that-
I don't think he's a bust.
For the record, John Ross is under contract right now with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hey, there you go.
A reserve future contract.
Yep, that's what I
But
saw.
he did not play. He did not play in 2022.
I love looking at these pictures
Or
of
21.
Jamarcus Russell.
He played in 21
Okay,
with the Giants.
interesting.
There's a lot of recent ones here. I'm gonna go with Trent Richardson.
Oh, I was hoping he followed me in the third
Trent
round.
Richardson was really fun to watch at Alabama, and I think he honestly hurt Alabama running backs for a few years there, almost like guys not wanting to draft him as much because even like Derrick Henry came into the NFL and he was a backup to DeMarco Murray for like a year or two. Everyone, I think everybody kind of compared Richardson to him, but Richardson was so bad. Then he got traded to the Colts, or was it the Raiders? There's all those films of like
Colts for a first round draft pick.
yeah, and there's that.
So he busted twice.
Yeah, so he got traded. He got traded to the Colts. There's that highlight they have. It's not a highlight. It's a meme, but it like says there's like a huge hole to the left, like, and it's like
And he's
easy
cutting
15-yard gain, and he just goes right, like into the back of his lineman. Like I don't know if it was vision or what it was. Did he play for the Birmingham? Did he play in the AAF or something?
Yeah,
or?
but he finished with this. Was he with Seahawks?
I don't know, but he was really good in college, and it just didn't translate at all to the NFL. Like it was terrible.
No, it's Colts. Yeah, so Colts.
And that one was hard to take
Oh,
because we have the
He's
same.
playing with the. You want to hear where he's playing for now?
Where?
Yes.
He's an American football running back for the Cuadrillos de Chihuahua. Is it how you say that in Mexico?
I believe so. Chihuahua.
Chihuahua, a football Americano de Mexico.
That's awesome. He also played for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
So he's still playing football.
I cannot believe I forgot about that. Yeah, that was when they had Andrew Luck. They traded a first-round draft pick for Trent Richardson, and
What if he's like the GOAT in Mexico?
Yeah.
Like he's
he
See if we can find his
should
stats.
be. He honestly though he is like the GOAT. He is a double bust, like what Jordan said. He busted twice, like two different teams. Did he go to the Raiders also for a little bit?
Yeah, I think he was there in preseason.
So, yeah, I'm going Trent Richardson. Phil, you're on the clock here. Are you still looking at Mexican football stats?
I still am, yeah. I probably should stop. I wanted to see. This looks like some of the photos that I'm seeing from this, it looks like number one, the logo is absolutely awesome. But it looks like a high school football game. Are you seeing some of these photos?
I haven't looked it up. I'm trying to find my next
Jordan.
pick.
No, I didn't look at it. I'm just
trying to
find
buy
his
some
stats.
time also. Maybe I'm wrong for going this one, but I'm going with Johnny Manziel.
Oh, that's a good one.
Man.
That's a good one.
I was going to go there.
He's outside of the top 10, but I think we said all round one, so I'm going to go with Johnny
Yeah.
Manziel.
I think
Johnny
Football's a good one.
Manziel should qualify, at least in my opinion. Johnny, he was an absolute stud at A&M, but
He was so much fun to watch.
so fun to watch.
When he beat Bama that one game, that was awesome.
He was just an interesting, I don't know, he was just an interesting guy. I think now he's like into golf or like I don't know what he does.
has a
like a golf
podcast.
company or something.
He also
Yeah.
wasn't he also playing arena football for a while?
He was.
Didn't he like
No, he did that fan football too.
he
Yeah,
did the
that's what it
fan
was,
football and then
sorry.
I think he lit up
I think he played arena football and like just tore it up.
yeah, but then he was like smoking
Oh, yeah,
a
he, like,
non-cigarette after he threw the TD, I think.
I think
Yeah, it
that
was
a different
marijuana,
guy.
but-
Yeah.
That was him.
I know. I think he was smoking marijuana after. I don't know if that's true.
That was the fan football league, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I thought it was him. Maybe it wasn't him. But yeah, Johnny Manziel. I think that's an easy pick.
That's
right?
a good
Like,
one.
it's
talk
kinda
about,
easy
talk
to go
about
with
one of the
just
best
QBs,
guys to
which
watch in college, too.
Oh yes, for sure. One
That
of the
guy,
funnest guys to watch.
that guy missed out on so much NIL money, even though I'm pretty sure he made money anyways. But
I think he made money. He's talked about it before.
yeah, he patented the Johnny Football name while he was in college, though, and
Guys who made money who made money during the NIL days. Reggie Bush, I would say, is probably up there just in
Yeah.
terms of how much money he made.
no, that's true. Okay,
All
so
right.
recapping round 2, Jordan took Tim Couch, Seth took John Ross, I took Trent Richardson, and Phil took Johnny Football Manziel. So yeah, today's draft is brought to you by Manscaped. Manscaped is the official sponsor for Dudes, where we get all of our grooming needs. They got some nice boxers. They got a lawnmower 4.0. We got a weed whacker on the table here to help get those rogue nose hairs and ear hairs. Yeah, you can go sign up for their peak hygiene plan. They got the new Beard Hedger kit. It is the official beard hedger of the UFC and the Dudes. Go to manscaped.com, enter promo code DUDES20 for 20% off your whole entire order. You will not regret it. There's tons of stuff from cologne to boxers to the buff bundle. We love the buff bundle. And actually, some listeners, have been asking us to show them how the buff bundle works. I think you can just use your imagination. You just go ahead and lather that thing up and then rub the suds on your body. It's pretty simple. So we will not be making a buff bundle video for all you guys on our YouTube shorts, but nice try. Jordan, what do you got here with your last pick?
I'm going to go Kevin White.
That's a good one. It's a good one. And is he?
I think he's actually still in the league. I thought he played this past year with
he played
somebody,
this
but
last year.
number 7 overall with the Bears.
Was he West Virginia?
West Virginia, and
West
had a really good
Virginia.
year there. I mean, he had 21,000, almost 1,500 receiving yards and 10 touchdowns in his senior year. He had just 25. Like, his stats are bad. They're like really bad in the NFL. I think he played somewhere this past year, and I can't.
I remember him getting picked up somewhere. I can't remember where it was, but yeah, was it kind of a weird deal where
Saints. He played with the Saints
Did
like
he-
one game.
did he get drafted? Then he like hurt his hand, and then like I think he had a little bit of the injury bug, and then it just never got started. Like it was.
Well, he was in West Virginia. I mean, that's almost heaven. Blue Ridge Mountains.
Shenandoah River.
So the guy has he has
Why?
Jordan just hates it.
he has 28 catches
Oof.
in his career. Number 7 overall draft pick, 28 catches in his career. Never had more. He had his rookie year. He had 19 catches for 187 yards in 4 games, and he had never had more. He never 8 was his highest since.
Hit me with a line from Country Roads, Jordan.
I don't know what you're talking about. He never
Country
played more than
roads.
9 games in a season. It's crazy.
I've been holding that back for the last 5 minutes, just so you know.
Yeah, I'm going
Sorry.
Kevin White.
No, that's good.
Also, Tyler Lockett's in that class, and Devontae Parker and
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs got drafted behind him.
Phil,
All right, I'm going to go
You know
this
I'm
one.
a sucker for karaoke, Phil. How dare you keep bringing this up? Like, just let it go.
Just let it
I'm
rip.
fighting
Trent.
the urge.
I'm sorry for this one, guys, but I'm going to have to hit this one close to
You're gonna
home.
break some hearts.
I'm going to break some hearts, especially some local guys here. David Carr.
Oh,
You are-
And I don't
You
want
are a
to. I don't want to
dirtbag.
say this is necessarily his fault, but you think about the capital you spent on him, the draft capital, and what you got, regardless of
all the
team,
sacks.
regardless of the team. Right, your team was terrible, and of course he got punished for it. Even though I think if he went to a different team, we could be talking. I wouldn't have said his name. Right?
The guy
He
has
does have a
the
Super
guy's
Bowl.
a Super Bowl ring, Seth. You do realize that, right?
Yeah, but he's still a bust.
Okay. Yeah, looking at that draft class, they could have taken Joey Harrington. The Heisman Trophy winner in that class didn't even play football. Tim Couch, or what was the guy's name? Was it Tim Couch? It was.
Who?
Was it? Who was the Nebraska quarterback that won the Heisman that year? Was it Tim Crouch?
No, it's Eric Crouch.
Eric Crouch. Okay. So not a great quarterback class to begin with. I don't know if anyone. They could have got Patrick Ramsey from Tulane. Yeah, that's a tough one.
And they
Seth.
almost had to take a quarterback because of the mean expansion team.
Oh, they absolutely had. They couldn't.
Yeah.
They had to take a quarterback.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. He honestly should have done the Eli Manning thing and said, "I don't want to play there." But then where would he have gone? To the Lions? You know, like look at how Joey Harrington did for the Lions. Like I know the Lions were a lot better than the Texans at that time, but yeah, that's like my childhood hero you're going after, Seth. That's
What
kinda
that
like
was what draft class was that? Sorry, I know you guys just
2002. Sorry,
I was also a child then. So
When did was Carson Palmer the next year? I think Carson Palmer.
no, he was
the next-
before. Palmer was early.
Palmer 2001?
He was before one,
well,
or maybe he was one. Yeah.
Trent, you didn't. Shouldn't have took Joey Harrington.
Well, that's what I said. Would you rather have Joey Harrington than David Carr? Like, I guess David Carr went to the Texans. That's the other place that quarterbacks go to
honestly, Joey Harrington was a bust too. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no quarterbacks in that class. You're like, oh yeah, that was
This
the
class
one.
is a lot like the one with who did we talk about before with like the Ryan Leaf type of deal. Well, there's nothing behind them, but even like Jamarcus Russell, it's the same type of deal where they're just nobody.
No, Palmer got drafted in 2003. Trent.
He was after.
Yeah, he's from Fresno, California too.
He was born in Fresno.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's where he's from.
I know. I don't. Yeah, yeah. Man, I thought Palmer was before. I don't know why.
I'm pretty sure he is in 2003.
Man, the best quarterback in this class is David Garrard. Am I looking at that right?
Maybe so.
I think it's pronounced Gerard.
It's Garrard.
It's 03.
You know who that? You know who that is, Phil?
Oh, that's the embarrassing
He
thing.
played for the Jaguars.
Would you list Bortles as a bust, Jordan?
No, because he took him to the AFC Championship.
That's what I was going to say.
would've-
He's showing up though.
I know. It's because of where he was drafted and how many years he played, but it's
Yeah.
hard for me to list someone as a bust when they went to the AFC Championship and arguably should have went to the Super Bowl.
Well, look,
if the refs were better.
What about Mark Sanchez? You can't call Mark Sanchez a bust. He also went to the AFC Championship.
I'm not calling him
No,
a bust.
but do you get what I'm saying? Like, I would agree with your point. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. We're on the same team here. You don't have to fight me on this, Jordan.
It's always
You guys
fun to
should
fight you.
You guys should
West
fight.
Virginia.
Is anyone going to make a draft pick here anytime soon?
I'm up here right now.
I know it's like me and Jordan hit the wheel over here, and it's like spinning, and then we like for some reason.
I
hit
have
the
I
brakes.
have
chill
I
out
have
over there,
two.
Big
I have
Twisty.
I have two. I'm debating with right
That
here.
sounded kind of funny in my headphones. Not gonna lie.
That's your nickname now, Big Twisty.
It didn't sound like twisty.
I'm gonna just. I'm just gonna go.
I don't want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. I think I got to go with the old one, not go with recency bias here, Jordan. Even though I want to go with recency bias, and we can talk about it later. All right, I'll go with recency bias. That's fine. I'll go Justin Blackman. That's a bust, right? Like
It's a bust, but it's
he
like,
should have been really good.
He was really, really
should have
good
been
when
good.
he played football. He was good when he played. He just didn't play.
Yeah, he couldn't stay on the field. But yeah, when he played, he was a lot of like, I don't know, maybe that would have helped, Bortles out if he could have stayed there that long. Who knows? You know what I mean? Like he had 64 passes. He caught 64 passes, 865 yards, 5 TDs, and 14 starts. Couldn't stay on the field. Then got suspended year 3. Final season, failing multiple times to stay clean enough to return.
I mean,
to
he
action.
played one season and was really good his rookie year.
He was so much fun at College with
Like,
Brandon Whedon.
He's the type of bust where it's like he's not a bust because he sucks at football. He's a bust because
Yeah, he couldn't just stay on the field. Like
he
couldn't-
liked doing
yeah.
other things too much.
Yeah. So yeah, I
He's an interesting one.
the other one I was thinking of, I don't think Phil's going to go with it. I was going to go with. We'll have all our honorable mentions at the end. But Phil, what do you got here to end this thing up?
Hold on, I'm trying to figure out if I want to go with this
A guy who's very similar to Justin Blackman is Josh Gordon.
Yes, he might have had a little bit longer career. The guy I was thinking of was Charles Rogers. Was the guy I almost went with.
Yeah,
right
but
there.
that guy just wasn't good at football, right?
Yeah, but he went number 2 overall.
I mean, Josh Gordon had. Now, obviously, he was a second round pick in a supplemental draft, so it's a little different with
Yeah.
him. But like the guy had in his second year, he had 805 yards in his rookie year, 5 touchdowns. Second year, 1,646 yards and 9 touchdowns. And then went suspended, or then played 5 games, suspended. I mean, the guy hasn't had.
He's doing good for the Seattle.
Dragons.
Right?
Yep,
Him and
yep.
Danucci.
Is it Sea Dragons?
It's just crazy. Like that guy, though, like that's the guy who he's kind of Justin Blackman type, where he's gotten his own way. And it's hard to come back after not playing for 2 years.
I hope that no one has said this one because I have been in and out listening to.
Because you're looking up West Virginia lyrics because you don't know the rest
Has
of the
anyone
song.
said Chris Perry?
No one said that.
No one said Chris Perry.
Or
He
wait, is that an
crazy
XFL pick?
impression year at Michigan. He was actually 25th overall in the 2004 NFL draft, and he had an okay year at Cincinnati. I'm trying to think about him. I was gonna pick another quarterback that went to the
pick
Browns.
Alakai Smith. Like that's the easy one.
doesn't know who that
I'm gonna
is
go with
either.
Brady Quinn.
Okay, that's fine.
my
Oh gosh, you are getting last, 100%.
Like they can't just look at the social on his. They have to like listen to this and just like feels pain to like pick these things.
Yeah,
Country
the first two are easy.
No,
Almost
no,
heaven.
I'm looking at what's it called? Tony, what's his name? Tony
Pollard.
Mandrich or whatever. Sorry, I went on a look for who Chris Perry is because I had no idea. Yeah, Tony.
People are
Mandrich.
gonna hear it and be like, "Oh yeah, Phil's right."
Yeah, I'm sure. But Tony Mandrich, offensive tackle, Michigan State, number 2 overall, went to the Green Bay Packers. First highly drafted tackle to fail with his first team, or wasn't the first, but he basically that was the same draft. They could have got Barry Sanders, Derek Thomas, Deion Sanders, and he wasn't good when he got to the Packers because he couldn't take steroids anymore. You know, I remember I watched a documentary on him at Phil's house one time. But yeah, 1989, Tony Mandrich.
What about Brian Bosworth?
I was just gonna say same thing. The Boz.
I
Boz
didn't think
deserves
he
it. I
was
should've said
a.
the Boz.
I didn't. Did you think he's a bust? He had 2 seasons in the NFL where he was okay, but he wasn't great.
I don't think he was.
he
ever-
played 2 seasons, Phil.
Yeah, and he was in the supplemental. He's another guy that probably benefited off of steroids, right?
Oh, for sure.
100%.
Those were some cool Seahawk jerseys, though. I liked those Seahawk jerseys.
Alakai Smith is a bust too.
Okay, Smith.
The Charles Rogers guy Phil mentioned, bust.
Honestly, none of the Oregon quarterbacks have been that good until Herbert.
Yeah.
Oh, what about you? Can't consider him a bust. Never mind.
Who was the buff guy, Jordan? The Baylor guy that had his shirt there's the meme of the giant guy. He never played, huh?
Oakman.
Oakman. He
Oh,
got in
yes,
trouble, but that was
yes.
the meme of
Where he's just
he was going to be the number 1 overall pick, and I think he got in trouble with the law, and I don't think he ever got to play. He might be in prison. I'm not sure.
Trent.
What happened to
He's
him?
a football defensive end for the Toronto Argonauts of the Canadian Football League.
Why didn't he ever get drafted, though? What happened? Was there a court case or something? I could be getting a mixed
Several
up.
early mock drafts projected Oakman to be a first-round pick in the 16 draft. That was before. Okay, so after Oakman's arrest of sexual assault charge, which occurred 2 weeks before the 2016 NFL draft, that executive told NFL.com that Oakman was undraftable now because the case is unlikely to be resolved before the start of the draft.
Okay, so he never got
He was
drafted.
removed from all draft boards.
Yeah. So, okay, so he
But his
never-
stock
yeah.
did drop throughout the season.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Yeah,
Charlie.
he never played in the NFL. XFL, Canadian Football League, fan-controlled football. Yep.
There's only one guy in the Canadian Football League making $550,000. He's the top paid guy. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, I guess. The other guy I was going to think of was Aguayo, who was the didn't the Bucks take a kicker? That was a first round.
Yep.
How about the Raiders took Seabass pretty early.
I think he was their first round.
Is
pick.
Darius
Or
Hayward
maybe
Bay on a
one
bus?
of their
I remember
Darius
him.
Hayward, that he's for sure a bust, and for some reason he wasn't coming up on any list that I was looking at. But I did say some.
Yeah, Roberto Aguayo got picked in the 2nd round. Kicker played.
I don't even know if he played a season.
He kicked 31 field goal attempts.
You could almost throw Marcus. Well, I guess Marcus Mariota is not a bust, but
I was gonna say him, but then I was like,
he's played too long. The other guy is Kajana Carter, Cincinnati Bengals.
You know,
took him.
Mariota had like 2 decent years in Tennessee, didn't he?
Yeah, he won a playoff game. You're right. Jeff George, Kyle Bowler, Jordan, Jimmy Clausen. I don't think he was super high. Andre Ware. Yeah.
Who was the running back at Texas when Vince Young was there? Who was that?
I don't think that guy wasn't a high draft pick. Yeah. I think that was Chris Perry, Phil. I think that does it, guys. But got the draft coming up. Hopefully you had some fun listening to this one. We will see you guys with our draft recap coming up on Monday.
Selvin Young, that's who it was.
Selvin Young. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in as always. And as always, take care.
This has been another episode of the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. Remember to rate, review, and follow. For more information, go to www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com. And remember, we are sorry for absolutely nothing.